BYU lineup. Kyle Collinsworth, the do-everything junior for BYU. Chase Fisher, a transfer from Wake Forest. Pause, and then the big bodies up front. The 7-footer Nate Austin and Luke Worthington at 6'10", the most improved player on this team over a year ago. For San Diego State, Trey Kell, freshman from San Diego, is the point guard. With Dwayne Poley, the aforementioned Shepherd, J.J. O'Brien, and the shot blocker, Skylar Spencer, second in school history, with 151 career blocks. Only Leonard Allen had more as an Aztec. Steve Fisher, trying to win his 316th game at San Diego State. And if he gets it, he'll be tied with the late George Ziegenfuss for most in school history. George coached for 21 seasons. And Dave Rose, Steve Fisher's great friend, in his 10th year as head coach at BYU. He's done a sensational job as well. Won 75% of his games, 10th among active coaches in winning percentage. And San Diego State in white controlled the tip. Skylar Spencer won it.
BYU will mix up their defenses, but you know they're going to make sure San Diego State shoots jump shots tonight. Not their strength.
There's the freshman Kell. Lost it for a moment in the lane. But in the right place was Winston Shepherd, the junior from Houston, Texas. Largest lead of the game. 3-2. And a foul called by Wally Rutecki for a moving screen. And the bucket does not count. Luke Worthington called for the foul.
I'll tell you, if you're Dave Rose, you gotta love the burst of speed that Kyle Collinsworth showed right there. He's only 8 months removed from ACL surgery. They have babied his minutes, Sean's, until this tournament.
Both teams we mentioned 3-0. Neither has played away from home. San Diego State wins over Cal State Northridge, Utah. That's a quality win against a team anything to do in the NCAA tournament this year. And Bakersfield, which is a Division I school in the WAC. And they held the Roadrunners at Bakersfield to 27 points.
They are giving up 32% from the field and 18% from the three-point line.
Chase Fisher called for the foul for BYU. Trouble getting it in, and they fired in deep to Dwayne Poley. Started this year. He was the Mountain West Conference 6th man of the year last season. Kick ball by Collinsworth. He sat out their last win, all 3 games at home for BYU. They beat Long Beach State. That's a very good win. Arkansas, Little Rock, and Southern Virginia. The Knights of Southern Virginia.
And they did not need Collinsworth in that game.
Well, he sat out that game. Rest the knee. Poley nearly into the rim with that shot from 3. But back up and in for Winston Shepherd.
Well, when you know a team's not going to shoot well from the outside, you've got to seal off the glass.
Whistle underneath as Worthington was trying to establish position. He got fouled by Dwayne Poley. His first foul. Mike Sanzier, Randy McCall, Wally Rutecki, the officials, working this one.
Now 3 weeks ago, Sean, BYU had 18 players on their roster. They're going to redshirt a couple guys. They're going to play 15 throughout the year.
Shepherd the save. Shepherd the open 3. He has all 7 points in this game, Winston Shepherd. And a block by Skylar Spencer. He denied Austin underneath the bucket. All San Diego State as Kell scores at the other end.
Three for Shepherd, and then watch Skylar Spencer, the man of the moment in the middle, outstanding defensive player. and vintage San Diego State effort so far.
They've averaged only 61 points per game in their 3 games so far this year. Shot 22% from three-point range, as Fran mentioned earlier. Hawes a miss, and in the follow-up activity, it goes out of bounds. San Diego State ball. BYU hasn't been able to go up and down yet, but Steve Fisher said the biggest challenge for San Diego State in this game, get back in transition, because he thinks the Cougars are the best running team in the country. Beautiful offense again.
Good 2 quick baskets by the freshman Trey Kell, who had struggled 2 for 16 before tonight. Local kid who grew up just 15 minutes from campus.
And the coaches like the fact that as a new player, freshman, Fisher gets them on the board with a 3. Even when Kell was struggling with his shot, a lot of times a young player, that can affect the rest of your game. It hasn't affected Kell's ball handling, his defense. He has the ball with Collinsworth right up on him.
This San Diego State team doesn't have a pure point guard in the starting lineup, and Kell's adjusted well.
Xavier Thames, the point guard, was the player of the year in the Mountain West last year, drafted, and is playing professionally over in Spain. He was a second-round pick of the Nets. Collinsworth, strong drive to the bucket. And moving well on that knee. Injured in the championship game of their conference tournament. Lost to Gonzaga. Poli called for his second foul.
Think about what this guy did last year. 14 points, about 8 rebounds, almost 5 assists.
It's interesting. You don't see it very often. A young man who leads his team in rebounding and assists and steals, and was second in scoring. He and Kyle Anderson of UCLA were the only players in the country in the top 100 last year nationally in rebounds, assists, and steals. That is an unusual combination. And he gets a breather. Anson Winders come in off the bench, number 20 for BYU.
Little matchup zone right now. We thought we'd see zone. BYU actually plays zone pretty well because of their length.
3 out of the corner. Wouldn't go for Akil Quinn. In off the bench, and then Chase Fisher intercepts the pass from J.J. O'Brien and misses the shorty. Taken bound by Angelo Chol. Both teams have gone to the bench here early.
Well, they know it's going to be a war of attrition the way these teams have battled in the past.
Kevin Szabo, freshman guard. See a lot of time at point guard. And a foul. And it's on Chol, I believe. No, it is not on Chol. It's on Worthington of BYU.
One of the Frashilla clan is right down there now with the Oklahoma Sooners. He'll tell me about it.
Your son, James.
Yep.
For the Oklahoma team.
Oh, nice play.
Yeah, well executed. J.J. O'Brien found an empty spot, ran into the bucket for his first 2. Senior from Rancho Cucamonga, California.
That's something you do not want to give up. There's an inbounds basket underneath.
Fisher, first year playing at BYU after 2 years at Wake Forest. And Fisher sat out last year as a transfer. Hawes, up shot, dripped into his right. Chol was way up in the air and then got fouled by Nate Austin, his first.
Watch this inbounds play right here. Keep your eye on J.J. O'Brien. Little misdirection, back screen, sneaks inside. Good play, set up out of a timeout. I love this kid, Chol. He transferred from Arizona. He played a lot of minutes there. Didn't get the minutes he wanted, but he has been the one guy on this team in the low post that can really score baskets in the early going. Energetic athlete.
This is Chol. He scores right on cue. Junior, he's from San Diego. Matter of fact, from right down the street from the San Diego State campus. They recruited him out of high school, but he chose Arizona and then transferred back home. Good catch along the sideline by Collinsworth.
It's interesting, Sean. San Diego State, they want BYU. They've sped BYU up, and it's interesting because BYU wants to play fast. Assistant coach Mark Pope told me before the game, we got to be disciplined enough that when we do turn it over, we don't stop running.
Second BYU turnover. First time since the late 70s they've scored 90 plus in each of their first 3 games. They'll have a tough time getting there against this bunch. Traveling violation is the second San Diego State turnover.
They had a great coach at BYU, Stan Watts, in the Basketball Hall of Fame, and they've always been known for up-tempo basketball.
Stan Watts, the only BYU coach with more wins at that school than Dave Rose. He won 371 games to Stan Watts in the Basketball Hall of Fame. Count the basket for Isaac Nielsen, the 6'11 freshman who's come in. He'll have a chance for a three-point play. The foul on Chol, his first.
He's going to play a lot of minutes as time goes on. He did his Mormon mission. He came back last December. He redshirted. So he got a taste of the system and the program. But I love his energy. He runs the floor. He's got good length. Just has to get a little stronger.
Most of the BYU players are Mormon, and most have done a 2-year LDS mission. That's a 3 out of the corner for Akil Quinn, the senior from Los Angeles. Chase Fisher got through the pressure and sets up a 3 out of the corner by Isaac Nielsen. His first career 3. Zabo, nice shot from about 10 feet along the baseline. First bucket for the freshman. He's from Gatineau, Quebec. His parents are from Africa. He played prep ball at Brewster Academy in New Hampshire. He's been around the world. Good hustle back on defense by Anson Winder.
He's just one of many Canadians now making their mark in college basketball. Gatineau right across the river from Ottawa. You think of Toronto as the place with all the great players, but Olivier Hanlon from Boston College, this young man from Ottawa.
San Diego State leads by 9. They're 9 of 12 from the floor. Team that had struggled offensively in their 3 wins. 3 did not drop for Shepherd. Kyle Collinsworth leads the Cougars back the other way. Junior from Provo handed it off to Fisher. Winder rejected by Angelo Chol.
Well, he's got a great first step, quick jump.
Winder scores inside. Senior from Las Vegas, his first bucket, 5th-year senior. Winder graduated in April and is working toward a master's in public administration at BYU.
Lots of zone still by the Cougs.
Kari Allen's on the floor for the Aztecs, number 4. Shepherd deflected out of bounds by Winder. 10 seconds to shoot after immediate timeout. San Diego State. Leading scorer.
So far tonight, he's only got 4 touches. And he's got that one shot where he got loose, didn't knock it down.
Paul's 23 years old. He'll be 24 in April. First year at BYU, 09-10. It's been a 2-year mission in the Philippines. Missed 10-11 and 11-12. Joel got a hand on the pass, nearly a turnover. Winder a long three with still 20 on the shot clock. 5 points for Winder out of Bishop Gorman. Terrific high school program in Las Vegas. He won 2 state titles while he was there. Kell powered into the bucket and missed. Collinsworth, that hit a foot inadvertently off the leg of Kell. 9 minutes played. San Diego State has led throughout. Nielsen missed the 3. Dalton Nixon, a freshman, tipped it back out. Whoa, tough shot by Collinsworth. Just flipped it up there after he drew the contact. And Kyle will shoot a couple of free throws.
He is a 6'6" point guard. We talked about how much he gets done for BYU. I mentioned Jimmer Fredette, Sean. That Final Four team in 2011. This young man started and was a very productive player on that team. Another one of those guys that went away for 2 years. You know, I coached against these guys. I hated BYU because they play hard, they're mature, they come back older from those missions. I couldn't stand those guys because after the game when they beat you, they shake your hand and go, "Coach, we love you. You guys play so hard. You got a great team." But you know, in truth, I've got great respect for these guys. They wear their faith well. They love basketball in the state of Utah, and they've had a great program for a long time.
Sure have. Classy program. 6-0 run for the Cougars. San Diego State has not trailed in the game. With a lead down to 3. Kell a little bit out of control as he charged toward the bucket. Now a 3 to tie it up for BYU, which trailed 11-0 right out of the gate. Collinsworth too strong. Good work on the glass by Corbin Kafusi. Another big body freshman, 6'10", 245. It's a 1-point game. Basket for Akil Quinn. Quieting the Cougar crowd for a moment.
This guy is really underrated, Akil Quinn. Watch the ball movement versus the zone, the drive. Good seal off by Skylar Spencer. Watch him seal Kafusi. That allows Quinn to get to the basket. A young man that came to San Diego State from Cal Northridge as a walk-on. He gave up a basketball scholarship. Took a year, but he got a scholarship from Steve Fisher. Really solid, underrated player.
He missed the free throw. The foul on Kafusi was his first. Talk about that seal. Was that very nearly a illegal screen?
Not if you're Dave Rose. No, but I liked it. I liked the idea that he warded that guy off.
Quinn, little stop and go move. Gave J.J. O'Brien some room. And a good long rebound by Dwayne Coley. Quinn not bashful. And off the floor to Kafusi, who was originally going to be a football player at BYU. Out of high school, he went on his mission. And when he came back, he was 6'10". He grew several inches. He's a basketball player now. His brothers played both. Bronson Kafusi at BYU. Hawes is on the board with a 3-ball out of the corner, and they come all the way back. And 11 down. They tie it up.
The tempo has changed in BYU's favor.
Now 1 point away from 2,000 for his career for Tyler Hawes. Great pass and a dunk by Spencer. Off a beautiful feed from the freshman Trey Kell.
Trey Kell's built like a linebacker, isn't he? 6'4".
Back in the day, you didn't see guys with bodies like these freshmen have come into college basketball. Spencer got a piece of the first one, got a piece of the player on the second try. Skylar Spencer called for his first foul.
Sean, watch this ball movement. Side to side, back cut, kick out. Hawes, who is more comfortable, 17 and in. He's really worked on his outside shooting. And there you see a good look by Trey Kell, young man from St. Augustine's in San Diego.
Kafusi made the first free throw. Kell won the point guard job, is wide open after Thames departed for the NBA. Yeah, Kafusi didn't even play basketball as a senior in high school because he wanted to concentrate on football, and he was going to go play for his dad. Steve, who's an assistant football coach at BYU, but he went to South Korea on the mission, grew several inches, but he came back at 6'10".
Yeah.
Said, okay, go change your plans here.
Bob.
And too high for Pauline.
You know, Kafusi, he's in the first inning of his career. He doesn't even know what he's doing yet because he grew late. He's a terrific athlete. His brother Bronson, who plays football, as you mentioned, he gave Kelly Olynyk 5 of the hardest fouls you'll ever see 2 years ago in a Gonzaga BYU game in Provo. Olynyk got up and made, I think, all those free throws.
Looked from here like it slipped out of his hand. Steve Fisher thought so too. But the ball stays with BYU.
The Cougars, Sean, have weathered the storm off that early San Diego State run.
Collins with a terrible pass, threw it right into the lap of J.J. O'Brien. He's a do-it-all player for San Diego State. O'Lee, tough shot. And O'Brien was in the right place. He started his career at Utah, and he had a nice game the other night against his old team. He had 12 points, 11 rebounds, 3 assists in their win over the Utes. Hawes, that's 2,000 plus for Tyler Hawes. 6 points tonight, 2002 for his career, the 5th BYU player to reach 2,000 points.
He spent all summer trying to extend his range, and we've seen it so far.
Kell, too many steps. 4 turnovers for the Aztecs in a tie game at 26 with 7-14. On a 15-6 run. Tie game at 26. San Diego State led 11-0 to start the game.
Shepard's back on Hawes. That's 6'8" on Tyler Hawes now. They switch on to him.
Fisher, first year playing. BYU sat out last year. Even though he had never played in a game, they made him a captain this year. The coaches are so appreciative of the leadership role he assumed in practice last year while member of the scout team. Play clock running down. Collinsworth, tough shot. With the shot blocker Spencer right in his face. Shepard in traffic. He'll shoot too.
Winston Shepard is a guy that is mercurial. He can be very good, sometimes not so good. When you think of the success of San Diego State recently, there's been an alpha dog every year. Kawhi Leonard, Tapley, Franklin, last year Xavier Thames.
First he called for the foul. His second.
They've had some outstanding players here in recent years, and Kawhi Leonard certainly was the guy that started off lightly recruited. Obviously, he's gone on to bigger and better things.
MVP of the finals for the San Antonio Spurs.
Xavier Thames now playing well in Spain.
They lost Thames and Josh Davis, their starting power forward from their team a year ago, but everybody else back. And some talented newcomers. San Diego State should be a force. They were the landslide pick to win the Mountain West in the preseason poll. They get 35 out of 36 first place votes. Boise State got the other. Air ball out of the corner by Zabo.
Great hustle by Skylar Spencer.
Seconds to shoot, and Quinn buries another 3.
Excellent ball movement, side to side, through the middle. Well coached.
And 5 in a row for San Diego State in this back and forth game. Fisher for 3. Chase Fisher has 6. When he was looking for somewhere to transfer out of Wake Forest, he wanted to go someplace with a free-flowing style, and I don't know if you could have found any offense more free-flowing than BYU's.
And we enjoy talking to him on Saturdays.
Really impressive young man. He was a captain at Wake Forest as a sophomore. Lots of bodies banging, and an offensive foul called on Skylar Spencer. His second. Nielsen off. Steve Fisher, always polite. I appreciate it. You could read his lips. They checked on it for him.
Former math teacher in high school. I've known the guy 30 years. Assistant coaches against each other in the Mid-American Conference, the Big Ten. Certainly coaching against him in the Mountain West.
The first time he was here in this tournament was in 1988 as an assistant in Michigan under Bill Frieder. Haas, a nice move, missed the shot. And a rebounding foul against BYU. It's on Haas, I believe.
This is one of those junctures of the game where it's gotten a little bit physical, and so if you're the 3 officials, blow the whistle a little earlier than normal.
Was on Haas, his first. Joel shooting a 1-and-1. Fans of fadeaways, not fading away. This is your game. Dirk Nowitzki, the NBA's all-time international scoring leader, takes on Carmelo Anthony. And New York, Knicks and Mavs, Wednesday, 7:30 on ESPN. I started talking about Steve Fisher, an assistant here with Michigan. They won the EA Sports Maui Invitational. Later that season, Bill Frieder announced right before the NCAA tournament he was leaving to go to Arizona State, but intended to coach Michigan in the NCAA. Coach Jim Becker famously said, "No, you won't." The Michigan man will coach Michigan. Steve Fisher took over, led them to 6 wins as the interim coach, and wound up being the full-time coach for 8 more seasons at Michigan.
I was here that year, 1988, with Ohio State, and the field was loaded, and who knew 4 months later. You know, Sean, in February of 1999, I was actually offered the San Diego State job. I turned it down. I didn't get far enough to get to the contract level. I did not think you could win at San Diego State. Most people didn't think you could. It was a graveyard. Steve Fisher changed that.
They won 4 games the year before he took over. They won 5 in his first year, playing in an empty building. Now they sell out every night. It's become the place to be, the AS Arena. More than 12,000 fans packing in there. Long field goal for Winston Shepard. He has 11 points, and the lead 6 for the Aztecs.
Great look out of that post double by Chol. Looked opposite.
Winder, appropriately named as he went winding down the lane. 7 for Anson. By the way, that Michigan team, and Steve Fisher as an assistant here, and then the head coach at the end of the year in '89. That was the first of 4 teams that have done that double. Won Maui and the national title in the same year. O'Brien, the offensive rebound and score. North Carolina's done it twice. And UConn, 2010-11, won Maui and then won the national championship. On their way to that national title in 2011, they beat San Diego State in the Sweet 16. Winder too strong off the glass. O'Brien the rebound. And it's last touch.
Fisher got to San Diego State. He spent the year as an assistant with the Sacramento Kings in the NBA. And I think a lot of the defensive principles that you see at San Diego State are NBA oriented. Double teaming in the low post, great help side. really has become a better coach than ever.
Zabo into the traffic. Missed the bank shot. Chase Fisher got it off to Anson Winder. Fisher to the goal. Out of bounds to San Diego State.
That's the problem with playing fast. They want to play up and down, but San Diego State, when they get back and set their defense, they become very difficult to score on because of their length.
I mentioned earlier, these two teams haven't played since 2010-2011. Shepherd for 3. Might have been a long 2 on the line. Nielsen the rebound. That was an interesting year. That was the year with Kawhi Leonard. San Diego State won 34-3. 2 of the 3 losses were to BYU and Jimmer Fredette. San Diego State also beat them in the conference tournament championship game that year in the Mountain West. The 2 of the 3 losses for the Aztecs to BYU that year, and the only other loss was to UConn, which went on to win the national championship, defeating the Aztecs in the Sweet 16. 5 points now for Kyle Collinsworth.
Good feed inside.
And a block shot out of bounds. J.J. O'Brien denied by Isaac Nielsen, with help down below from Tyler Hawes.
I've always said, Sean, when you attack zones, you attack from the paint out, so you don't have to rely on that outside shooting. Nice job by Zabo right there, getting it deep. He told me yesterday he had 1 dunk in his career at Rice. Does that count?
Neither slammer nor jam. But there were plenty of other teammates who could. Quinn for 3 out of the corner. Big first half for Akil Quinn. He has 11 points. Averaged 8 per game in their first 3.
Given the way San Diego State has shot the ball early, Akil Quinn has found money today.
It's short. Shot clock is off. Shepherd missed. Well, there's a foul. They could have held for the final shot of the half. They try to take advantage of a break opportunity, and we'll get to the line. The foul's on Jake Toulson, the freshman, his first.
He's getting his feet wet, had an outstanding career in Phoenix. Great BYU bloodlines. The nephew of the great Danny Ainge.
Winston Shepherd, the free throw shooter.
Sean, this is the guy that has to have a big year if San Diego State is to live up to the highest expectations they've ever had in this program. He's a great athlete. He's multi-skilled. The one thing that really sets him back is he can't go get you a bucket with his shooting or his ability to play one-on-one. But there's lots of things that help you win, especially defensively.
Lead back up to 8. Hawes slips down and travels. And time for the Aztecs to get up another shot with 3.6 left in the half.
Great switch by J.J. O'Brien. He's got the foot speed, the size. And now if you're San Diego State, you're going to get at least 3, maybe 4 dribbles here. Akil Quinn should look up at the clock, realize it's 3-6, and just take off. 3 to 4 dribbles.
As Quinn described, 2 dribbles and the shot that wouldn't go. Akil Quinn had 11. Winston Shepherd had 12 to lead all scores. A big first.
You see the lack of touches he got in the first half in 19 minutes.
Underway in the second half. Here's Hawes right away. After going 0 for 5 with 2-point shots in the first half, he knocks one home seconds into the second half.
That's good.
Points for the game.
Good coaching right out of the half. Out of timeout play. Well done.
Lee trying to answer. He's off the mark. There's Kyle Collinsworth. Chase Fisher. Good work by Hawes to get on the offensive glass. And the help ball will go over to San Diego State.
Now the question for San Diego State is, can they score 41 more points in the second half? Because BYU wants to get up and down, run, shoot the ball quickly.
J.J. O'Brien. Now Trey Kell. Winston Shepard. Wayne Poley and Skylar Spencer for San Diego State. Same five that started the game. They turn it over for the 7th time. Collinsworth lays it in.
Wow, right at the defender. No sign of any issues with that knee.
Shepard, tough shot, banked it home and was fouled.
Well, again, when you're not a great outside shooting team versus the zone, you got to play through the middle of the floor, and that's exactly what Winston Shepard did right there at 6'8".
Third foul on Luke Worthington. He couldn't believe it. Didn't look like there was much there. 14 for Shepard. Came in averaging under 9 per game. He gets the foul line a lot. He attempted 202 free throws last year and shot just 63%. He's worked very hard to improve his free throw shooting. Collinsworth. Wow. Looked like he was shut off. Got all the way to the bucket. Couldn't score. Nate Austin could not score as well. Kell pushes them back the other way. Holy swooping. Oh, wow. The bank is open again. First bucket for Coley. Is their leading scorer coming in at under 11 per game. Collinsworth the three in response.
That's huge. That's not his strength, Kyle Collinsworth. But you know what? He spent the year rehabbing his knee. He had nothing to do but shoot the ball stationary. Good look. Watch the middle, Sean.
Kell underneath. Nice pass by Shepard.
Great look by Skylar Spencer to go outside, back in.
Chase Fisher. His three rolled off. Ooh, Austin put a body on Skylar Spencer.
Watch the ball movement now. Short corner, top of the key, right back inside. Attack from inside out.
And Kell the bucket. He has 6 points. I think what impresses me most about Kell, you can see as a freshman playing his fourth year, he just has great feel for the game.
He does. He does. Very, very good confidence. I guess when Steve Fisher puts you in the lineup as a freshman, it should help your confidence.
Yeah. And the three wouldn't drop from Nate Austin. BYU ball. Officials conferring. Shot going to his right. Run down by Austin. Fisher's open for a deep three. And a rebounding foul against San Diego State. It's on J.J. O'Brien. his first.
Every jump shot right now, it's hand-to-hand combat in the painted area. J.J. O'Brien, you know, he's got a little George Niang in him. He's a very versatile player. There's lots of things for a guy 6'7".
He's their leading returning, third leading returning scorer, second leading returning rebounding. Averaged 8 points, just under 5 rebounds per game last year. And O'Brien did most of that with a broken hand. Bandaged for a lot of the year and really affected him. Hawes fell down as he tried to muscle in on J.J. O'Brien.
Well, Tyler Hawes is playing a step too quick right now. So anxious to get loose.
Collinsworth, nice move to the bucket. Lost control for a moment, got it back, and scored, and he has 12. Teal Quinn, one of the stars of the first half for San Diego State. Pass deflected. And pass touched by Skylar Spencer. 8 turnovers for San Diego State. The timeout. 2 p.m. Eastern Time. 9 a.m. local time on ESPN2. Purdue and Missouri. K-State and Arizona one semifinal. Pittsburgh against the winner of this one in the other semifinal.
Watch Hawes here on the ISO. That's a play they've run for time immemorial. Misdirection to the left, get him going back to the right.
Teal Quinn called for the foul, his first. Second team foul against the Aztecs here in the second half. Collinsworth with dancing Winder on the court now. He had a nice first half. Gets a screen from Isaac Nielsen. And now Tyler Hawes. Air ball, well defended by Quinn. Well, a three-point opportunity on the follow-up action. Nielsen fired up.
Very impressive.
The foul, his third.
Redshirted a year ago. He joined this team back in December of last year. Didn't waste the eligibility. See, he's giving them a really good look. He's going to be a good player.
And he made the free throw to make it a three-point game. 5 minutes into the second half. Evan Szabo back on the court. Point guard now for San Diego State. Trying to feed it inside to Chol, who was well defended. And was called for a 3-second violation.
That's Szabo's fault, because when you get a post player versus the middle of the zone, he's got 2 feet in the paint. That's where the ball should go. Just a freshman. He'll learn that.
Collinsworth harassed by Szabo, then inadvertently knocked down Hawes behind him. First foul on Szabo.
Watch Hawes again.
Austin missed the three, batted around, and gathered back in by Anson Winder.
San Diego State, Sean, does a lot of switching because they have a lot of even-sized players out there.
Oh, Collinsworth an air ball. As he was bidding to tie it, J.J. O'Brien running the floor. Saved it to the Cougars. Collinsworth. Winder into the traffic. Collinsworth keeps it alive, and it's a one-point game. 14 for Kyle Collinsworth. Junior from Provo, Utah. 3 years a starter.
Talk about people, talk to coaches in the Mountain West. They say he may be as valuable as Hawes to the success of his team.
And San Diego State calls timeout. They'll take it with them. 13:35 to go. It's a 1-point.
5 points a game. I would say right now, at this point, the flow of the game favors BYU.
San Diego State's turned it over 4 times in this half. They've taken only 4 shots. BYU has not turned it over since halftime.
I think if you're BYU, you got to keep the ball from going into the painted area right now. Make them shoot jump shots. Can't do that.
Shepard the bucket, and a chance for a 3rd point from the line.
That's great ball movement. I'll say it one more time. When you're not a great shooting team, you got to play through the middle. And there it is. Ball's in the high post. Shepard sneaks along the baseline and gets behind the defense.
17 for Shepard. Isaac Nielsen's foul, his first, the second on the team.
Sean, when I coached bad shooting teams, all we ever worked on versus the zone was to get the ball at the rim so we wouldn't have to rely on jump shots. That's what San Diego does best.
Fisher off to Winder. Nielsen along 3. Nikhil Quinn the other way. Shepard dumped it underneath. A little too hot for Skylar Spencer to handle. Collinsworth took it back. Winder attacks the goal. 3 defenders there, and one of them fouled. First foul on Trey Kell. So Winder will shoot 2.
You mentioned Bishop Gorman, one of the great basketball programs in the country at the high school level. You've got 2 young men, highly recruited. Chase Jeter will go to Duke next year. And Steven Zimmerman still has a plethora of great schools to pick from.
San Diego State ball off the misses. Trey Kell chose San Diego State over Arizona. And Vanderbilt, perhaps a chance to play against Arizona in this tournament. They could be in the finals. Here's Kell finding the seam in that defense, and he'll go to the line to shoot a couple.
Once again, really well done ball movement. They stretch the zone from side to side. They use all 50 feet. And you always attack the long closeout. That's exactly what Kell did right there.
Nate Austin called for his 3rd foul. Kell missed the first free throw. Good recruiting class for San Diego State. 3 players in the top 100 in ESPN. Cheatham and Pope have both been battling injuries.
And Malik Pope just played sparingly earlier this year. He's missed 2 full seasons of basketball because of injuries. They may redshirt Cheatham. They're not sure yet, but this is a San Diego State team a little bit shorthanded.
And Pope played 14 minutes in their last game against Bakersfield. Cheatham hasn't played at all. Good move by Hawes. Got the defender in the air and drew the foul. He'll go to the line for 2. First foul on Winston Shepard. And Hawes at the free throw line when we come back to the EA Sports Maui Invitation. Tyler Hawes, the free throw shooter, out of the timeout. Wow, rare miss from the free throw line. 89.5% this season. Career 88.7, best in BYU history.
And just as rare, his first 2 free throws of the night after 29 minutes. He's had to earn everything, hasn't he?
Mm-hmm. Ray Kell, Keel Quinn, J.J. O'Brien. Quinn jacks a 3. His big night continues. It's his 4th 3.
He was 4 for 14 coming in, and that is a bonus for Steve Fisher. You don't expect that from Keel Quinn, but I just love his steadiness.
He averaged 5 points per game last year in about 16 minutes off the bench. Starter this year. Chase Fisher for 3. Catch and shoot in rhythm. 9 points on 3 threes for Fisher from Ripley, West Virginia. Interesting, we talked to him. He said his choices when he was going to transfer out of Wake Forest were Florida Gulf Coast and Valpo. And then Andy Enfield, the coach at Gulf Coast, left right when Fisher was about to go on a visit. He left to go to at USC.
Yeah, good style plays, all of them. Once again, San Diego State having a lot of success through the middle of the zone.
Oz, a quick 3 wouldn't go. Bodies collide. And out of bounds was Nate Austin as he tried to gather it in for BYU.
If you're watching at home and you're a coach and you're teaching your kids, just watch the zone offense. They have somebody behind the zone, somebody flashing in the middle, and it's a constant rotation. There's 4 players that all can rotate through the middle of the zone, and Spencer, the big man, behind the zone. Watch the rotation and the continuity.
Brian bounced it off the foot of Fisher and it wound up in the hands of Hawes. Quinn, great hustle to try to get it back, and it's a held ball. It'll be BYU's ball. San Diego State is 6 out of 7 from the floor in this half, but they keep turning it over. They've turned it over 6 times. When they've held on to the ball, they've missed only 1 shot, and that was their first shot of the half. They've made their last 6.
Well, BYU told us they were going to run, and they are running and playing quick. Now the question is, can San Diego State continue to manufacture the kind of offense they haven't seen all year?
A good defense by Paulie. Fisher did well to get it back and then lost it on the dribble. In transition, Zabo. Timeout BYU. More than midway through the second half now. The Cougars still. Academy in New Hampshire, which was a good fit.
Playing for Jason Smith up there has turned out so many good players. Tell you, you think about going away from home and going to prep school, not an easy thing to do when you're 16, 17 years old. Makes you grow up a little quicker.
Hawes for 3. Step back 3 for Tyler Hawes. He has 12.
You can't separate from him. You've got to stay nose on his back numbers. Take a look at this now. Watch Quinn. He's going to cheat it and try to go over the top. And you see no white jersey. That means Hawes is going to get an open look. Just get your nose in his back numbers when he runs off those screens.
Hawes from a BYU family. His dad, Marty, was a fine player in the late 80s. Brother TJ's on a mission right now for the Mormon Church. He'll be away for 2 years. He was a terrific high school player in Utah, and then he'll join the BYU program.
BYU's got a number of really good players on missions right now. They'll be back in the next year or 2.
Fisher's 3 from the corner popped out. 5-point lead for the Aztecs. And the ball. Out of bounds off the foot of Dwayne Coley.
That's an example right there of BYU speeding up San Diego State. And despite the fact that they're down 5, they like to play this way. They don't have a problem with it.
Turnovers really hurting the Aztecs now. 13 of them in the game. Hawes another 3. And it's a 2-point game. And the BYU fans fully engaged now.
Pretty much have to face guard Hawes. You cannot give him any space.
Collinsworth trying to poke it away from Coley. 18 to shoot for San Diego State.
Collinsworth may be 6'6", but he is a defensive pest.
He was first team All West Coast Conference last season and named to the preseason All West Coast team this year by the league's coaches. One of the good players in that league. Boy, Gonzaga might have its best team under Mark Few. Here the pick to win the West Coast Conference. BYU second. 4 points for Skylar Spencer, the junior from Inglewood, California. Collinsworth fouled as he spun toward the bucket. Both Spencer and Zabo were there. Fisher reminding him of the scouting report. Kyle Collinsworth at the free throw line, shooting 2.
This is the one area that is not his strength.
$15 for Collinsworth. 3-point game under 7.5 to go. The winner will play Pittsburgh in the second semifinal here tomorrow night after Arizona takes on Kansas State. Oli, no. Good rebound in traffic by Corbin Kavusi, and now a 3 would tie it again. BYU has never led. They're within 1 on the bucket by Collinsworth.
That's a number of times tonight he's taken it right at Spencer.
To Shepard. The freshman Zabo into the lane. Last touch by Hawes. Full shot clock for the Aztecs. Nate Fisher sends Trey Kell back onto the court, starting point guard.
This is a great test for San Diego State to play a game like this. That's more up-tempo than they're used to playing. BYU has imposed their will in terms of tempo in the second half.
Coley, yes, deep 3 for Dwayne Coley. Transfer from St. John's, where he played 1 year and was a starter. He has 5 points tonight.
It's kind of ironic, isn't it? He hadn't started a game for San Diego State until this season.
6th man of the year in the conference last year. Former Los Angeles City Player of the Year in high school. His dad also won that honor when he was in high school. Dwayne Sr. now works at the University of San Francisco in their basketball program. Chase Fisher, a nifty 3 from in front of their bench.
I love watching him play. I watched him in the early season. No rust from transferring and sitting out a year ago. Great confidence.
Stuart Fisher's bucket as a 2-point field goal. He thought he was fouled. Apparently the officials say Fisher blocked it. O'Brien and Winder And the officials differ on the call out of bounds. And they're going to talk about it. Meanwhile, Hawes is down on the court. And I believe it's going to be BYU ball. Yeah, O'Brien was the last to touch, so that's a good call.
I didn't have any doubt he was going to get up quickly. Tough as a nut.
2 to tie. And 3 for the first lead of the night for BYU. The last tie was at 26 apiece. 7.5 to go in the first half. Fisher
nice.
Underneath Kafusi. Challenged at the rim and a very late whistle against Winston Shepard. That has the San Diego State bench in an uproar. His second foul.
I don't mind the late whistle if they get the call right. These guys are taught to make sure they get it right. And he got him across the head. And I'd rather the late whistle than the early whistle and the guess. See, he comes down right there. Good call, good officiating. This Kafusi kid, we've only seen bits and pieces of him, but he's a very athletic young man. Once he gets some seasoning, he's an explosive athlete.
Missed the first free throw. Keel Quinn returns for Trey Kell. I mentioned a couple times Kafusi's dad, a football coach on the staff at BYU. Brother Bronson plays on the football team there. There's also another Kafusi.
That's a violation.
He played basketball at BYU and lost out of bounds by Shepard. Cougars really hurting themselves at the free throw line. They're just 8 out of 16 as a team after those misses by Corbin Kafusi.
Take a look at Kafusi. He leaves early. That should have been a violation.
Now whistle just as they're trying to inbound.
I think Steve Fisher wanted the timeout, and Randy McCall was going to give it to him. On scouting, but BYU, Dave Rose known to have a couple tricks up his sleeve.
Hawes, good look at it, long with the mid-range jumper, yanked down by J.J. O'Brien. His 8th rebound.
I think this is going to be BYU's best defense all year. They're not a great man-to-man team. This zone is effective.
They are long.
Yep.
Quinn has it back from Shepard. Room there by the elbow. Missed the one-hander. Once again, 2 to tie and 3 for the first lead of the night for BYU with 4.5 to go. Winder swatted by Skylar Spencer.
See, if I'm Winder there, I'm not driving into that kind of size. I'm making sure that Fisher and Hawes get a touch.
Shepard used the screen from O'Brien. Nearly got tied up. Shepard from the elbow. Long. Back to Shepard. Full shot clock. Quinn grazed by Collinsworth. Trying to close out, then bump the driver.
There's a drive by Winder. Spencer, that's his specialty, protecting the rim.
Foul on Collinsworth, just his first, the 4th team foul. They have a way to go before they're to the limit. 3, no for Quinn. Rebounding foul on BYU. Austin's 4th. Well, he's 1 away from extinction. Immediate timeout, 3:50. Just 1 foul on Hawes. And just 5 team fouls on BYU. San Diego State's over the limit. They've committed 8 in this half. Aztecs ball, 2-point lead. They have not trailed in the game. They've led by as many as 11 at 11-0 right out of the gate. big possession here with under 4 minutes to go.
I would shade Quinn, but I'd bait jump shots from everybody else.
Collinsworth called for a reach-in foul. He thought it was clean. It's his second foul. 6 for the team.
I'll tell you, Spencer almost threw that ball in bounds too early. Lee not afraid to shoot it from 3 as well.
Ten seconds to shoot. Spencer, not much of an offensive factor, but here at crunch time, he takes a shot, and he got fouled by Kafusi. That's the third on Corbin, and it does put the Cougars over the limit. And this will be a 2-shot foul for Skylar Spencer.
That foul is strictly because of a lack of experience by Kafusi. All he needed to do was make Spencer shoot over the outstretched arm.
Spencer just 45% career from the line. Makes 1 out of 2. One possession game, 3-point lead. Kafusi out. 3:06 to go. Collinsworth into Fisher with Winder, Hawes, and Austin. That free throw, the first point for San Diego State in 3.5 minutes. Hawes. It's a 1-point game.
That's their bread and butter ISO. They ran him from the left wing to the right block, and that's where Hawes loves to operate.
17 for Hawes. He's just 6 out of 16 from the floor. 52 straight games in double figures for Hawes. Spencer. Good pass by Coley. Looked for a moment like Coley was going to get stuck in the air in the corner. He did not. 7 for Skylar Spencer.
Shepard on Hawes, Coley on Fisher. 2 really good matchups.
Scintillating action here in the last game of the night in Maui. Winner to the semifinals to play Pittsburgh tomorrow night. 2 minutes to go. These former conference foes meeting for the first time in 3 years. And reminiscent of many great battles between these two in years gone by. Coley the steal. Coley fouled hard, and both he and Austin go flying into the stands. It's the 4th foul on Nate Austin.
Sean, we talked about quick hands all night. Watch J.J. O'Brien on the drive. He's going to come into your picture, and he knocks it loose. That's what San Diego State does a terrific job of.
Just the second BYU turnover at the half. A timeout has been called by Dave Rose, the head coach of the BYU Cougars. With 1:48 to go.
Looks like he's got his athleticism back already this early in the year.
Collinsworth got a lot of help from Bob Medina, their strength and conditioning coach. One of the best in the country, worked for a couple of decades in the NBA with Seattle and Portland. First free throw of the night for Coley. Missed them both. It's still a 1-possession game.
You notice the point guard was the guy inside on that missed free throw, the defensive spot.
Well, he averaged 8 rebounds last year. Hawes ties the game. First tie since 7.5 minutes remain in the first half. 5th 3 of the night for Hawes. He has 20. 1:20 to go, knotted at 67.
Second time tonight they've gotten the open three off the misdirection, and they're going to stay in the zone.
And down to 10 to shoot for San Diego State, and down to 1 minute remaining in regulation. Quinn for three. No. Spencer crashed. Shepard missed a shorty. BYU with the ball with a chance to take its first lead of the night in the final minute.
Dave Rose is thinking about calling a timeout, and he will.
I don't know if I like that, Fran. I mean, the game's going his way right now.
And they run great offense without him, having to manufacture something out of the timeout. I watched him, and he was in between. He wanted to let him.
Sends out Spencer, O'Brien, Quinn, Shepard, and Polite.
And J.J. O'Brien is going to guard Hall, so they've changed the assignment.
O'Lee's on Fisher. O'Brien still on the hip of Haas. Tough fadeaway, short over O'Brien. And a chance for the last shot of regulation time for San Diego State. Will Steve Fisher use a timeout? He has two.
He's talking to his staff, and he pulled the trigger.
Brian Dutcher there on the right. Inbound.
Looks like zone. I think they're going to show man right here and go back to zone.
That's exactly what has happened. This Winder up on the ball. Everybody else back in the zone. 8 seconds. J.J. O'Brien down the side of the lane. Well guarded by Collinsworth. And the attempted jam wouldn't go for Shepard. Out of bounds. It doesn't matter whose ball. Regulation time is over. Well, this is the nightcap.
Yep.
And he doesn't like to have the real nightcap interrupted under any circumstances. Skylar Spencer won the tip. So BYU has made it to overtime despite the fact they never led in regulation play. They were tied on a few occasions, 3 times, never led. Spencer. Foul on the floor. Both teams are in the single bonus at the moment. And Spencer, not a good free throw shooter, goes to the line. Second foul on Chase Fisher. Spencer 1 out of 2 from the line tonight, 4 out of 8 for the year.
Interesting lineup right now for BYU. They've gone 4 guards.
Ooh, unlucky. That knocked out. So can BYU take its first lead of the game in overtime? Winder the handoff to Fisher, quickly to Hawes. Now Collinsworth. Austin, the other player out there. And O'Brien gets called for being too frisky as he tried to guard Hawes. Second foul on J.J. O'Brien. Each team with 9, so this will be the last 1-and-1 of the game. And it's Hawes, the best free throw shooter in the history of the school. You like his chances to give them their first lead of the night by making both.
He moves as well without the ball as anybody you'll see in college basketball, and that's how he picked up that last foul.
BYU leads for the first time with 4:24 to go in overtime. Shepard to Poley. With O'Brien, Quinn, and Spencer for San Diego State. Shepard had a chance to shoot. There's a better option. O'Brien for 3.
And they've been at their best tonight versus that zone defense. It's been through the middle. And that's exactly what Shepard did. He caught it in the middle and reversed it.
Ole, good hands. Hawes ran it down to the backcourt. 2:15 on the shot clock.
They can switch all ball screens now.
Hawes out of bounds by Spencer. Only 2 seconds on the shot clock for the Cougars.
Cougars have something here. We saw them get Hawes a shot earlier off this situation.
They get him a shot again, and it's blocked again as the shot clock expires. Winston Shepard there to reject it.
Screen, he stepped right back, but unfortunately Shepard at 6'8", too much length.
Remaining in overtime. With 6 on the clock. Quinn, no. Collinsworth, the rebound. Dave Rose said he rebounds better the more physical the opponent. Winder got it to roll in. And BYU leads again. 10 points for Anson Winder. Takeaway. Pass deflected into the hands of Hawes. Only midway through the overtime session now. Collinsworth, the floater. And it's the biggest lead of the night for BYU. 19 for Kyle Collinsworth. That knee looks healthy.
And he's rebounding, he's distributing, he's a pest on defense.
Two minutes to go. Whistle away from the ball. Austin called for banging up against Skylar Spencer. And Austin's fouled out. He didn't score, missed 4 shots. He had 5 rebounds. He also missed 2 free throws.
And right now we're going to see Corbin Kaufusi play the most important minutes of his young career.
Just the 4th game of his career. Well, the good news is, even though Austin fouled out, they sent Spencer to the line. He's not a good free throw shooter. Trey Kell has returned to the game, the freshman point guard for San Diego State. Skylar Spencer, the junior.
Just as importantly right now for BYU is, you know, this ball may come off just as hard. Gotta block out.
And a shot puts it up there and missed both. 2 out of 6 from the line for Spencer. Chance to make it a 2-possession game for the Cougars. Collinsworth. Hawes probing, tough shot over O'Brien. Tyler Hawes with his dad on hand tonight.
Can't do much about that if you're J.J. O'Brien. That's good defense. That's why this guy is a 2,000-point scorer.
Big 3 that pops out for Quinn. O'Brien scores inside. Huge offensive rebound. And Steve Fisher calls for a timeout, leaving him with 1. 13-9 for J.J. O'Brien. Certainly don't want to foul Hawes, the best free throw shooter in the history of the program. Winder Double team in the backcourt in trouble and asks for timeout. Each team has one left.
Heady move by Winder. Now if you're Dave Rose, you got to make sure when that run and jump trap. That's exactly what's happened.
He is 19. Mentioned Hawes from the BYU family, his dad, fine player. Collinsworth's brother Chris played forward for the Cougars, 2008. Trouble in the backcourt. Collinsworth double teamed. They find Fisher. He's in trouble and gets called for travel.
That's a good call. Once you're on the ground, you cannot turn over. You must stay where you are. Fisher didn't see the back tap right there. Take a look. Quinn, and now once he's down, if he rolls over to avoid the defense, that's a good call.
They have to change that rule where when you're in the backcourt, you should only get 10 seconds total. They spent about 15 seconds total in the backcourt in those two separate segments. They're not a good three-point shooting team, but they don't need one yet. This much time left. Quinn is a good three-point shooter. They came in as a team 22%.
It's almost like they're
24 tonight from beyond the arc.
It's like they're looking for the three.
They are. It's blocked by Kafosi. Quinn tried a corner three. He got it back. The shot clock didn't reset. That's a three. He looked down at his feet to make sure it was beyond the arc and nailed it.
No shot clock.
Dave Rose took a timeout late in regulation. This time it looks like he's going to use it again. He was signaling he wanted a timeout. They didn't give it to him, and now they're playing on. 5 seconds to go. They don't have anything going. Now it's Collinsworth, and we'll go to another overtime.
I don't know who is guarding Tyler Hawes, but he may get 5 to 10.
Well, Dave Rose upset. He thought there were fouls in that sequence. And I don't know why he's allowed to walk all the way underneath the
Felt that Hawes might have flopped, and that's why he didn't give the call. There was contact there, but Randy McCall clearly saw it and let it go.
Now on the tip, Mike Sanzier is a violation.
Well, here's what I would do if I were the three officials, Sean, right now. Mike Sanzier made that call because they want to get the game under control quickly in the second overtime. You watch any little contact, there'll be a foul call.
Well, that would be a shame because it's been a pretty well officiated game with really very few calls that have been questioned by either side. It'd be a bad time for them all of a sudden to go in the tank. And they have become a focal point of what happened there at the end of the first overtime. 19 seconds to shoot for BYU. They lob it inside to Kafosi. Oh. He hits the deck and gets called for the foul. And Trey Kell will go to the free throw line. 2 shots on every opportunity the rest of the game. Both teams are in the double bonus, and that's 4 fouls on Kafosi. They've already lost Austin. Starting big man plays ahead of Kafosi, who's fouled out. Luke Worthington over there on the bench, another big man starter, has been in foul trouble all night.
I would blow the whistle quickly the next minute and then let the game settle down the final 3 minutes.
Well, I don't like that.
Yeah,
because the one thing you would want to expect from the officiating is consistency.
I want a foul to be called when it's a foul. I don't care what time of the game it is. That's what I want. And I know these guys, and I know that when the game gets out of control, you can feel it. And they've got to blow the whistle quickly when there's a foul.
San Diego State, a 2-point lead. Tough shot to Collinsworth. O'Brien trying to rebound with one hand. It looked like his other arm was held. Here's Coley on the run. Timeout BYU.
games came in the last decade. For a long time, BYU dominated this rivalry. But when Steve Fisher got to San Diego State in '99, things started to change.
Shepard on the hip of Winder for a long time. Dave Rose agitated. It took that long for Randy McCall to blow the whistle. Dave was gesturing, and Randy McCall goes over to say something, I think now. He looked at Dave as if to say, that's enough.
Well, that's the kind of play I want to see called the next 30 seconds, and then let them settle in. But when players...
Well, what does that mean, though? I guess that's what I don't understand.
Here, you know what?
Call it tight for a minute or two to get it back and then let it go again?
No, what happens is when you start to blow the whistle, the players back off. And when I hear the term players decide the game, let them decide the game. I think it's garbage because when a player fouls, he's deciding the game. The players have to understand you'll blow it quickly and they will adjust.
Winder fell down after going for the steal. Well, the freshman point guard, most pressure-packed situation of his very brief college career. Quinn right down the lane. It came off. He had good inside position. And a foul call. No, he was just the last to touch. Quinn, the last to touch. BYU ball down by 2.
With Hawes' ability to get to the foul line, I would run something through him right now.
Hawes, a 3, and the lead again for BYU. 27 for Tyler Hawes.
Last year, Sean, 82% of his field goal attempts came inside the arc. Tonight, he's been lighting it up from deep.
I was told they scored that at 2. So it's not the lead. It's 80 apiece. And that is definitely a 3 for Akil Quinn, his 6th of the night.
How many times have they gone through the middle of the lane to get good shots?
Collinsworth attacked and got fouled.
San Diego State at their best tonight. Watch them work through J.J. O'Brien. He draws the defense in. And Akil Quinn, who only made 4 threes coming into the game tonight, has been on fire. Too much separation off that screen, and Hawes gets free.
Spencer, the foul is 3rd. 2 shots for Collinsworth. The 6 threes, by the way, for Akil Quinn tonight are his career high. He's twice had 4 threes in a game. Shadu, that was 6 tonight. 1-point game. 21 for Collinsworth. Midway through the second overtime. San Diego State, the ball, the 1-point lead. 12 to shoot. Quinn attacked with the left. 22, that's also a career high in points by a long shot. 17 his previous best, twice against Fresno State and Pepperdine. Wow, deep 3 that popped out for Hawes.
That was right on.
It sure was. It just as easily could have gone down. San Diego State ball under 2 minutes to go in the second overtime. They lead by 3.
Hey, the key's been O'Brien through the middle.
And a bump by Winder. It'll send Coley to the line for 2. The first foul on Anson Winder.
That was a foul that we talked about, Sean. I don't think that would have been called a while ago. Winder, a silly play right there, 30 feet away. Randy McCall was not going to let that go.
Coley, 72% career free throw shooter. 79% coming into tonight, but he's 0 for 2 tonight. Now 0 for 3 tonight. Neither team's been very good from the free throw line. San Diego State 12 out of 22. BYU's 14 out of 22.
You know who's liking this game right now? Jamie Dixon.
Yes.
And the Pitt Panthers.
They'll play the winner of this game tomorrow night. He's hoping they play all night and wear each other out. Chase Fisher, no. And a big rebound in traffic by Spencer. Minute and a half to go in the second overtime.
Still in a possession game if you're BYU. You need a stop.
And we should note that Eric Bovair, the Chaminade coach, is enjoying this as well, because this team will play the loser of this one.
Great point.
They can take it down to about a minute to go in this overtime session. Strong drive, and the shot wouldn't go.
Cougars should push here. Get a quick one.
They do. It's a three for the big fella. Isaac Nielsen. Battle in the corner, won by Hawes. Fisher reloads for three. And a foul on the rebounding action. And it's against the Cougars.
No problem with those quick shots. Two-possession game. They just needed one to come down. And watching the push in the back right there by that Collinsworth.
His third foul. There's Kell, the freshman. 56%. Cool customer. Steve Fisher's been coaching as a head coach for 24 years. He's only had 13 freshmen start the opening game of their freshman season. It's guys like Chris Webber and Jalen Rose, Juwan Howard, Kawhi Leonard. You can add Trey Kell to that list this year. He's made it a 6-point game. Winder desperate now for a three. Collinsworth in the traffic. Ball on the floor. Held ball. San Diego State ball.
The last four BYU shots have hit front rim. All threes.
Last time. .4 to go. Spencer is out of the game, so BYU can't foul him. And they can't get it in. San Diego State needs the timeout. One left for Steve Fisher.
A nice job by Winston Shepard. I was watching his eyes the whole time, and he, out of the corner of his eye, he knew where Randy McCall was. He knew he had 2 timeouts left. He waited till 4, and then he asked calmly for the timeout.
Shepard goes out. They put Spencer back in, the shot blocker, for defense. Still a lot of time left. 38.4. And they shot the three ball well tonight, Fran. 44.4%, 12 out of 27. BYU. Winder forces up a three, wouldn't drop. Coley the rebound.
I'll tell you who shot the three ball well tonight is San Diego State. When you think about coming in, 18%.
Collinsworth just called for his 4th foul.
I mean, San Diego State is looking like those Paul Westhead Loyola Marymount teams tonight with 88 points.
So Coley at the line to shoot 2. It's difficult already for BYU down 6. Coley could make it just about impossible, but he can't throw it in from the line tonight. 1 out of 5 from the stripe.
BYU is going to shoot a 3 here. The problem is San Diego State can switch at all 5 positions. Any dribble handoffs will be switched.
Does it have to be a 3 for BYU?
I think you need a 3 here.
They're killing a lot of time. Hawes, no, and San Diego State's going to survive. Trey Kell, the freshman, the rebound in traffic. And it was close. But it'll be 124 straight wins for Steve Fisher in San Diego State when they led with 5 minutes to go in regulation time.
I think it's in their heads. I think, they obviously know how to win. They overcame some adversity. BYU played terrifically. They forced the tempo, but you had the feeling, Sean, in each overtime that they were going to figure out a way to win.
BYU has missed its last 7 shots from the floor. Kell made 1 out of 2. 20 seconds to go. 8-point game. 12 points for the freshman Kell. Collinsworth. Winder. They just let him go to the bucket. No timeouts left for the Cougars. And they attack and foul Kell with 10.8 remaining.
Well, we're going to see 2 defensive-minded teams tomorrow night in Pittsburgh and San Diego State, that's for sure.
NBA Tonight coming up next on ESPN2.
What the Suns do?
I have to find out. I don't know how America's team did, the Phoenix Suns.
The smallest backcourt in the NBA. Isaiah Thomas, a favorite of mine. Little lefty from Washington.
Terrific backcourt for the Suns. Goran Dragic, Eric Bledsoe.
And Zoran Dragic. Right, Goran and Zoran.
Arenas, among others. Archie Goodwin. Steve Fisher hollering he doesn't want any fouls. And there's a 3 for Isaac Nielsen. 5-point game, 4.4 seconds to go. Kell knocked out of bounds by Winder. Dave Rose doesn't want a foul. He has called off the Dogs, and he's about to walk down and shake the hand of one of his best friends in coaching, Steve Fisher.